What is that?
Maybe it's easier to understand if I use the word zombie. Hi, I'm murderous Arcueid, back with Tsukihime. Last time, Shiki snuck back into the house, Akihiko was upset, and essentially gaslit us when we tried to explain that we had been missing because we were hunting a vampire or whatever. So, she's still lying, but that's okay. Shiki also had a particularly interesting dream about Arcueid during the night, and then we went to school the following morning where we encountered our good friend, Akihiko, who informed us that, in fact, the vampire murders are still occurring. And then the horrible thought occurs, is Arcueid responsible for this? So, picking up from there.
No way. I don't want to think about it, but even with Nero gone, there's still one more vampire left, Shiki. Classes end and school is over. Actually, it's more like at some point school was over. Wrapped up in my bad thoughts, I look up and suddenly find myself alone. The serial killings are still happening. I don't know what that means. The only one who knows the answer is probably Arcueid. I don't know. I'm not involved in any of those incidents anymore. Once I settled things with Nero, I came back to the ordinary world. Then I can only be insane to want to go back to that abnormal world once again. I shouldn't be involved. I understand, even if I don't say it. That's probably my second most correct choice. But a long, long time ago, someone taught me the most correct choice. Listen, Shiki. Every person's life is filled with pitfalls. You have more power to do something about it than most people, so you've got to get it together. So I just can't pretend I didn't see it. This incident isn't over yet. It seems once I got involved in this incident, I have to see this out to the very end. I leave school. First, let's go to Arcueid's place. Her room is still the same, but Arcueid isn't there. Well, I didn't think I'd find her this easy. Looks like I have to go out into the city and look for her. The sun sinks and the city is really starting to get dark. I looked around the major places in the city, but I didn't even catch a glimpse of her. Dang it. She was around when it didn't matter, so why can't I find her when I do need her? What should I do? The night is just starting, so. Search for Arcueid aimlessly, return to the mansion. Well, there's really only one choice for us. The night has just begun. No, to be more exact, if Arcueid would be walking around, it would be most likely to be during the night rather than during the day. I guess it would be more efficient to search around town. I don't want to think about it, but most of the victims are usually found in alleys. If I want to find Arcueid, if I want to find the vampire killer who's continuing to murder, then I have to stick to searching the streets. Dang it. What am I doing? Not understanding my own feelings, I curse and start to run around aimlessly. I sit down on the guardrail. It's been several hours already. I look around aimlessly and I didn't even catch a single glimpse of Arcueid. Dang it. It's so frustrating. Of course, I knew it isn't easy to just randomly find someone in town, but I still felt optimistic I would find her. Where did she go? Why? I just wanted to ask her about the serial killings, but once I find out I can't see her, I. Stop. Stop. I should just stop. I stand up from the guardrail and start walking. It'll be midnight soon. Searching for Arcueid any longer really is just useless. But if I've gone this far, I can do just a little more. There's one last place I need to check. If she's not there, then I'll go back to the mansion. The deserted park. I arrive at the place where I cooperated with Arcueid and defeated Nero. Having only looked in town, I've yet to search here. Well, not that I'll find anything. Grumbling to myself, I enter the park. Midnight. As expected, there's no one here this late at night. With this much silence, it rather feels refreshing. That's right. It's not like I can conveniently find her. I breathe out a sigh and salt my shoulders. How stupid. Why am I so disappointed? I don't understand it myself. Just once more, I think maybe I wanted to see her smile.
Ah, there you are. Good evening, Shiki.
Yeah, just like this. Her face that's so cheerful and carefree. You can't believe it belongs to a vampire. Arcueid! Without even thinking, I grab both of her shoulders.
Eh?
Arcueid flinches in surprise. Arcueid's shoulders are indeed real, and I quickly pull my arms back. You... Why? Even though the one I've been searching for so long is right before me, I can't do anything but stumble over my words.
Why? That's odd. I was looking for you, so I don't think it's coincidence we met here.
You were looking for me. Why?
Why? Oh, no reason.
She says straight out that she has no reason to be looking for me. I forgot. She really is kind of like a cat this way. Well, I guess it works out. To be honest, I wanted to see you too. So meeting here, I was about to say it makes me really happy, but I frantically choked those words off. Anyway, I wanted to have a serious talk. I want to talk about it somewhere else since I feel uneasy here, so is that okay?
Sure, but talk about what?
You'll see. Let's go more to the back of the park. Telling her to come on, I start walking. Tilting her head in curiosity, she follows me obediently.
What did you want to talk about, Shiki?
About vampires. You said it before, that the recent serial killings were the work of a vampire. Arcueid nods. Then do you know the morning news said another victim was found? She was killed last night and drained of blood. Arcueid's eyes narrow. Something like a freezing tension races down my spine.
Oh. And?
And you... I swallow hard. She stares right at me. Almost. A stare which says she will attack me immediately if I move even the slightest bit. Isn't it strange, Arcueid? Nero is dead. So why are these incidents still happening? Don't tell me that you...
That's not it at all. That's not me, but another vampire.
Arcueid responds immediately, loosening the tension. But I'm not satisfied. What do you mean, the work of another vampire? So they just keep coming?
Of course not. The serial killings were always the work of just one vampire from the very beginning. So no new vampires will come, and Nero was unrelated to those incidents.
Eh? Nero was unrelated? What do you mean?
It's just like I said. You're normally pretty sharp, but you're lost at some points. Think back, Shiki. Nero was a vampire, but did he ever suck human blood?
Suck blood? He ate humans and... Oh. I see. Why didn't I notice such a simple mistake? The victims of the serial killings are found with their bodies drained of blood, but Nero was different. He didn't leave any dead bodies behind. He not only drank the blood, but also ate the meat, leaving no trace. To prove it, the people eaten by him at the hotel were treated as missing people, not killed people. So that means it is something completely different. Wait, then what is the serial killing going on right now? Just who is doing it?
That's a different vampire than Nero. To be more specific, that vampire is why I came here, and Nero came here following me. It's that sort of correlation.
What? So the one you're after wasn't Nero after all?
Yes, I didn't ever say he was my initial target. I was his target, but he was never my target. My target is the one called the serial killer in the city. Shiki, I don't quite believe it, but don't tell me you made such a simple mistake.
What? I gasp in shock. But it really is just as she says. She said her purpose is to kill vampires, so I just thought it was Nero she was after. So what is it? Killing Nero that night was pointless?
It wasn't pointless. You fought in my place. Well, if you didn't kill me, you probably wouldn't have had to in the first place.
I feel a little dizzy. In other words, those vampire killings had nothing at all to do with Nero, and it was the work of another vampire.
Yeah, that's right. But that's my problem, so you don't have to worry about it. But more than that, hey!
With an extremely happy smile, Arcueid looks up at me as I stand there in surprise.
How was last night? Who came?
Huh? What does she mean by last night? I don't understand what she's talking about. After all, I'm the idiot who mistook Arcueid's words and made such a stupid mistake, so of course I don't understand what she's saying, and... Huh? Did Arcueid ask me who came last night? Arcueid, what do you mean by last night?
That's strange. I know I sent you a dream familiar.
Wait, what's that dream familiar thing?
It's like a familiar that lets you see a dream about what you desire the most. You're a male, so I sent you a succubus. Wasn't it a good dream? I have no words, Arcueid.
A good dream? That was... I remember the realistic dream I had, and my face turns red. That was your doing? Arcueid grins even more. Crud. If I stayed quiet, this conversation would have been over, but since I reacted so strongly...
So you did get it. So, who came? I know, it was your sister, right? Oh, Arcueid, why are you the siscon shipper? Why? Just...
Not Akiha. What kind of a guy do you think I am? I'm not crazy to do that to a sister? In this route.
If it wasn't your sister, then was it the maids at the mansion?
Arcueid looks up at me, full of amusement. She's acting like the Arcueid from last night's dream. It doesn't concern you, so leave me alone. I look away from her and refuse. But Arcueid keeps saying,
Come on!
Over and over.
Come on, tell me. You can at least tell me who you dreamed about.
She asks like a curious kid. Every time I turn away, she keeps jumping in front of me saying,
Come on!
This is pure torture. She's as mischievous as last night's dream. I bury my face in my hands.
Hey, Shiki, don't be quiet and tell me.
Arcueid keeps looking at me with those upturned eyes. I can't, God. This is my limit. You. I hesitating to let it out in a quiet voice.
Eh? What about me?
Don't make me say it again. I'm saying that it was you who came. I shout angrily as I look away. Arcueid's eyes widen in surprise.
Me?
Yeah, it's not a joke. You came and... there's no way I can finish. Now Arcueid looks away from me, looking very uncomfortable. Neither of us know what to say. The uncomfortable silence continues. I can't bear the silence any longer and force out a cough. In the first place, why did you send me that dream familiar thing? Are you still angry at me for killing you?
That's not it at all. I sent it as thanks for defeating Nero. I really am grateful to you. I thought you'd be extremely happy.
As thanks? I'll pass on that kind of thanks. Having that kind of poor taste, just what are vampires thinking? I slump my shoulders. I don't know what she's mad about, but she looks at me with a dissatisfied expression.
What's that all about, you meanie? I know I'm not human.
She turns away, then starts walking off. Hey, hold on. Where are you going?
It has nothing to do with you. Don't follow me.
Is she really that angry? Arcueid walks away without even turning around. Where does she plan on going, anyway? Maybe I did say too much. No matter what the results were or the methods used, she really thanked me with good intentions. I start to feel intense regret and think that maybe I should have just accepted her gift happily. Dang it. Why is it that I just can't leave Arcueid alone? Hey, I said wait! Surrounded by the night, Arcueid walks down the street. She looks straight ahead, her white figure with golden hair fluttering. It bears a horrible resemblance to the first time I saw her. No, or perhaps it's like the time she faced off with Nero. For some reason, I have a bad feeling about this. Hey, Arcueid! Arcueid continues to walk without turning around. I want to talk to you. You can at least tell me what you're gonna do. Of course, Arcueid just continues walking without turning around. It would be miserable if I left it like this. I decide to follow her silently for now. The footsteps echo through the night air, and then Arcueid suddenly stops and turns around.
Don't follow me. Don't you understand? It's troubling for a normal person like you to follow me around.
So, tell me what you're gonna do and I'll go back.
It doesn't concern you, so leave me alone.
Arcueid strides off once more. Crud. It seems like our wordless wandering is gonna continue. When we approach the main street, Arcueid freezes.
Found it.
Eh? Her voice is cold, like a totally different person's.
Ah.
A chill runs up my spine. Even from behind, I can feel the hostility manifesting itself in her. Arcueid, what are you... I can't even finish. It's clear what she intends to do without saying anything. Without a doubt, there is nothing but the pure, unadulterated intent to kill. Hey, what are you thinking? Arcueid doesn't answer. Her eyes are fixed solely on a man in a business suit walking by.
Shiki, take off your glasses and look at that person.
That person? You mean that businessman?
Hurry. If you want to know what I'm doing, then leave the questions for later.
Alright. I don't like to look while in town, but... I take off my glasses. Gah. Instantly, a light headache springs forth. In exchange for the pain, I can see lines running all along the walls and the ground.
Another question, Shiki. You only see points on living things, right?
Eh? Yeah, that seems to be true. Things like buildings only have lines. I saw them back during the time in that hotel, but at the cost of a headache that almost caused me to pass out.
Right. Since you're a living being, you can't comprehend the death of inanimate objects. So, in order to see the death of inanimate objects, you must first connect to a circuit of the same orientation as them. To see, you have to comprehend them first. Then, another question. Shiki, how does that person look to you?
Huh? It'll just be the same as... always. Ugh. Without thinking, I step backwards. What is that? Certainly all humans have lines on them, but they only have countable amounts and they also look like geometric patterns. But what is that? There are lines running all through him. Those lines are all over him like blood vessels, so much that I can't even make out his appearance. Gah. I want to puke. Those black lines, scribbles, making a human shape. Everywhere throughout it, I can see black points that look like they're flowing blood.
Shiki, how does it look? I was hoping it would look normal to you.
Ugh. I can't answer. Right now it takes all my strength just not to vomit.
I see. How unfortunate that you can even see death on that thing.
Yeah, it's not normal, but I can still see the lines.
I knew it. You can even kill the dead. The fact that they don't have any life has no meaning for you. Something that moves, something that breaks, you can stop it completely without exception. You're more of a monster, Shiki.
Eh?
As you saw, you can't call that thing human anymore. It's a vampire that deceives death by sucking the blood of other people.
Arcueid quickens her steps. She walks straight towards the man. Hey, Arcueid!
Stay there, Shiki.
Did that young man realize Arcueid was there? He starts running towards a back alley. Arcueid strides silently. Underneath the moonlight, she disappears into that alley. Thump. The sound of my heartbeat is awfully close. It's not even real late at night. Even though I'm in the midst of a bustling shopping district, I can't sense anyone besides myself. Thump. My glasses. I have to put on my glasses. If I don't do that, I'll see terrible things. I'll see something so terrible that everything I've seen so far would be nothing in comparison to it. Thump. But my body won't move. My eyes that can see this patchwork world look towards that alley in fascination. Suddenly, sounds vanish. In the presence of other people, the sound of the wind and the smell of the dirt, all of it freezes. Under the frozen moon, a bizarre noise sounds from the other side of the wall. Go. No way I can see it. I can't hear anything. A sickening sound. But I can see it. My eyes definitely see the sound of death and death crashing. Gah. My vision turns crimson. Why do my eyes see death? Something that shouldn't be able to be seen. My glasses. I have to put on my glasses or I'll go insane. I hold back the rising gorge in my throat and use my shaking hands to put on my glasses. Sound and light return. Now that I'm calm, I glance around and see nothing out of the ordinary in the shopping district. The bustling of many people passing by, the brightness of a store's decorated show window, and the sound of rushing car engines. I'm panting excessively. I can hardly breathe. Even though I put my glasses back on, I can still feel a lingering remnant of that death, and it makes me sick. Arcueid? Arcueid walks out from the alley with faltering steps, breathing even harder than I am.
Shiki, I see. You were still here.
Shoulders heaving up and down, she passes by me. Her body sways back and forth, and she walks weakly as if she was sick. To be honest, I still feel nauseous, but seeing Arcueid in pain like that makes me bear it. Wait, what in the world?
I'm fine. Just a little tired, so don't worry. It really doesn't concern you, Shiki.
Idiot, if you're tired, then rest! With such a pale face, you can't be fine. Even as I breathe shallowly for air, I grab Arcueid's arm.
Hey now, you say that, but you look like you'll collapse too.
It's just my anemia. If you have time to worry about me, worry about your health.
It's fine. There's no point in worrying about it anyway.
Her breathing really is weak. Don't tell me, that wound from that time, it hasn't healed. But I can't bring myself to finish. It's because she got it saving me. She doesn't answer and looks down. That is affirmation rather than disagreement. What are you doing in your condition? You have to take it easy until you're fully healed.
I do think I'm taking it easy.
No, you're not. Even if you're at a level beyond humans, what in the world were you doing earlier in your condition? I just can't leave her be. I knew it. I just can't leave this person who's always getting into trouble alone. Don't be silent and answer me. Until you tell me I won't go away. I grasp both of her shoulders. Still looking down, she gives a slight nod.
Jeez, you really are persistent. Fine, let's go somewhere else to talk.
Releasing herself, she waveringly starts to walk away. We come to the park. As if walking restored her strength, her face looks as cheerful as always.
Well, as you wish, Shiki. I'll talk about whatever you want.
I don't know where her previous weakness went, but she looks really haughty all of a sudden. Then I'll ask, but just what was that guy earlier? You said he was a vampire. Was he what you were after?
No, he certainly is part of my target, but putting the dead back into the grave isn't my goal. I only got him because he was a minion of my enemy. If I left him alone, he would kill more people to increase his power.
Arcueid, could you explain it so I can understand? I don't even know if that guy was even human or not.
Oh, I guess I never really did explain to you in detail about vampires. Nero was sort of an aberration amongst the vampire race, so I didn't really need to explain it at that time.
Huh? What is a normal vampire then?
What I mean is what you all think of vampires. Immortal, never aging, sucking human blood, turning that human into a vampire, being destroyed by sunlight, all of that. My enemy is that old type of vampire.
So you mean this enemy of yours is the one behind all the recent serial killings?
I suppose. But the killing of all those people by sucking their blood might be the work of the dead, like the one you saw earlier. Shiki, you remember how Nero's body was made of all those familiars, right?
Yeah, that's not exactly something I can easily forget.
The dead are like that. When humans have their blood sucked by a vampire, they can also receive some of the vampire's blood. They die, but remain in this world as a servant of the vampire. They are called the dead, and they are like the vampire's familiars. Maybe it's easier to understand if I use the word zombie. It's closer to the voodoo belief in Haiti, where the white serpent god Damballa is invoked to control a dead body. But let's just say a dead body that moves is a zombie, okay?
Yeah, I can visualize it better that way. I get it. So that man was killed by a vampire who uses him as a zombie.
Yes.
Arcueid nods happily. I'm still confused though. Why would a vampire do that? Killing people, not letting them die, but controlling them. What bad taste.
You're right. Those vampires do have bad taste. But that's something only the dead apostles do. Those that were always vampires from the very beginning do not do such things.
Huh? Always vampires from the very beginning? I remember. You said there's two types of vampires. Those who are vampires originally, and those who are humans. When I heard that before, it kind of stuck in my head. I thought it was a little odd. So what exactly do you mean by those who weren't originally vampires?
Simple. I'm just saying that dead apostles used to be humans. They either gained immortality through magic or became servants of the true ancestors that sucked their blood. Shiki, you said it was bad taste to use killed humans, but that's just the least of it. There are other vampires who think up worse games.
A game? What is that? You guys kill for fun and use their dead bodies as toys?
I won't deny that. For vampires, amusement is the same as breathing. For those who are once human but gain imperfect immortality, their greatest enemy is boredom. They didn't have a reason to become immortal to start with, so once they gained immortality, they lost all kinds of greed. Their goal was immortality itself, so I guess that's just the way things are.
They're bored, so they want to play? Don't be ridiculous. Isn't it enough that they won't age or die? Do they really need anything else?
That's what I said. They got everything they wanted. After that, there is no meaning to existence. As soon as someone realizes they have no value, that their life is stopped, then their meaning of existence disappears too. Immortality is also another word for death. So they started to wear down, and they started to create their own amusement, as if to tell themselves they could have fun as long as they lived. That's their beginning. They copy humans and see themselves in a game as lords of a castle expanding their territory. I guess you could call it a country of the dead. It seems they got more enjoyment out of that than they expected.
She speaks as if she was talking of other people. Arcueid should be one of those, but she certainly doesn't seem like she has that sort of hobby.
Well, we'll change the topic, but the dead apostles were originally human. There are a few cases where they became vampires through their own magical research, but the majority of them were humans who had their blood sucked. They are immortal, but they can't last forever. They can only be immortal if they drink the blood of others. Didn't I say their immortality was imperfect? If they can't feed on humans, then their immortality is gone.
Wait a minute, isn't that odd? In order to become immortal, they drink the blood of humans, but doesn't that mean new dead apostles will be born every time they do that?
That's true, but things get complex from here. The people who have their blood sucked die. But at that time, if the dead apostles place a little of their blood inside the corpse, the body cannot die. Those bodies that were unable to die stay a number of years in the grave, and when the brain decays, and the soul is fixated in the body, they become a flesh-eating corpse, or ghoul. Only 1 out of every 100 people have this potential, so not everyone gets to stay. Well, there are those that have a natural ability to step up this progress and become a vampire immediately, but this is so rare it's out of the question. So the dead bodies that became ghouls eat the flesh of other corpses in order to sustain their decayed body parts. After restoring their bodies fully, they can become zombies, members of the class of living corpses, the living dead.
So, these living dead, is that the dead from before?
Not at all. The dead are just puppets. The living dead are much weaker than the dead, but they are members of the vampire race with a will of their own. They are on a different level than those manipulated dead. And after many years, once a living dead is able to restore its intelligence, it becomes a vampire. There's probably about only 1 out of every 10,000 who have this ability. I said it before, but the more potential you have, the higher the success rate to stay. We call the dead apostles the ones that make all these kinds of vampires.
That's still odd. If this game goes on, then won't the world be overflowing with vampires eventually?
Not necessarily. The dead apostles usually get killed by the new vampires they created. Didn't I say it before? They act like humans. For their own enjoyment, they place their own blood inside the humans they preyed upon. 1 out of tens of thousands of these corpses become vampires, and eventually kill their parent vampires, becoming a new dead apostle themselves. Like knights becoming lords through strength of arms and killing the king, they can only survive by playing those sorts of games. Yeah, I don't really understand why, but I guess that stops them from dying of boredom. The whims of an existence close to a devil, I suppose. Even if they are immortal, they can't hold on to their meaning for existence. It is an empty immortality.
Arcueid remarks how silly it is as she slumps her shoulders. I see. Then that dead you killed earlier, that was something like a soldier of the dead apostles?
Not so much a soldier as a puppet. The dead apostles control the dead bodies by skipping the process of becoming a vampire. The dead are completely connected to their parent vampire. In order for them to survive, they attack others to eat their flesh, but more than half of that energy goes to their master. Like a queen bee nourished by the worker bees, the dead apostles can use the dead to increase their power while they sleep. My enemy can't be found easily because he's using a lot of the dead. He only dirties his hands once. After that, he simply controls the dead while he sleeps and expands his territory. They say many bodies are found in the recent supposed serial killings, but those are actually just failures. To tell the truth, there are over 100 victims in this city, but only a small amount, the ones discovered, are the victims in the news.
What? Over 100? There are that many that had their blood sucked? And all those people suck the blood of others to make them into monsters like themselves, like that wandering, lifeless thing earlier. That's ridiculous. 3 days ago, I remember how all those people in the hotel were killed for no reason. I was there, but I didn't see it, so I can only visualize and can't really tell what kind of violence it was. It's still the same. I can't fathom the existence of vampires that suck human blood just to increase their own territory. Just without reason, without even recognition. If someone close to me died like that, how would I act? I don't want to imagine it, but for a brief instant, I imagine Akiha being drained of blood and discarded like trash. What makes me mad is that this worst case scenario could happen at any minute in this town, and I didn't even have a clue about it before.
I knew you would be angry, Shiki. I didn't want to talk about it because for the prey, for you guys, this is an inexcusable evil. For people like you, the actions of the vampires are inexcusable.
That's right. That's just all so ridiculous. Even if it's people I don't know about, they have their past and even the dreams they hoped for. Even I don't want to be killed just for the fun of it. That's just too regretful. It's too meaningless. That's all just so regretful, isn't it? That's right. All those people were killed by Nero in the midst of fear and chaos. Weren't their last thoughts full of regretful sadness? That night at the park, that girl who was killed by Nero when she passed by the park by sheer coincidence, she didn't even realize when she died. That meaninglessness, the abruptness of its ending, a death no one else even knows about. When it happened, I was broken apart by the complete irrationality of it all. My fear of Nero disappeared, and more than anything else, I hated him. I can't accept it. No matter what the reason, I can't accept it. I grit my teeth.
Shiki, there is no reason. For them, it's just a game.
That's why it's ridiculous. It's just a game to you all? Nero and this other guy, what do they think human life is?
They come up with such games because they think it's nothing. Even I can't understand how they think, nor do I intend to. But if you ask who's at fault here, it's the weaker one, right? In the end, those that are killed are at fault. It's all the will of nature that those who are unable to protect themselves are killed. Victim blaming at its finest.
What?
But Shiki, if you talk about it that way, your human species is really strong. The ability to make up for their weakness as a species with other things, that makes them the strongest in a way. Probably the only ones that can kill the greatest creature called the world are you humans. But even though they are strong as a species, they are weak as individuals. They can't live without sacrificing the lives of those not of their race. Which is the ultimate evil, is it not? It doesn't matter if they have intelligence or not. For you guys, everything is fair game for food, is it not? So, the ones doing the killing are always right. If there is a sin, then it is you guys not being able to protect yourselves under that rule. That is might makes right, and it is incorrect. Because that's not correct. Those that do the killing are always right. They can rewrite history and all the rest of it, but it doesn't actually change the state of things. It really doesn't. There's some faulty logic here.
That's just the argument of the strong. Humans aren't as strong like you all. Because we can't protect ourselves fully, that's why we have to live together, to help each other. I don't know what to do if somebody like you guys came in and...
That's true. That is your defense mechanism. Since you can't protect yourself when those kinds of species enter your group, you guys make rules to ensure they are unable to enter. Yes, it's just like you say, Shiki. So usually this town's case doesn't happen. You may not know it, but your human race is really strong. You have erected a defense mechanism against those races which far exceed yours. If it was functioning properly, this city would not have had a vampire these last 8 years.
Defense mechanism?
Yes. The reason vampires hide the bodies of their victims and stay out of sight isn't because they don't want to be known to humans. To protect their own lives, they conceal their identity and expand their territory. They don't want it to be known that vampires exist at all. If they moved freely about, the defense mechanism would arrive. Well, They probably haven't arrived even though that modern-day vampire news is going on, because this is an atheist country.
Huh? Her word choice is too unique, and I can't really grasp what she's saying.
But you can relax, Shiki. Even if their avowed enemies are not in this country, I'm here right now. Didn't I say earlier my purpose was to execute vampires?
I don't know where that heavy atmosphere went because Arcueid instantly becomes cheerful. Yeah, I remember, but you're a vampire too, right? Why do you side with us humans?
I'm not really siding with you humans, but I'm doing it because I don't have anything else to do.
Huh? She doesn't have anything else to do? I still don't understand her.
Well, doing that does bring the dead apostles after me, but you beat Nero who was pursuing me, didn't you, Shiki? So now I can go back to the original plan and defeat my enemy. You can go back to living your normal life now, and you don't have to associate with me anymore.
She smiles as if she's happy about something. Yeah. That makes me happy, but are you okay by yourself? Those words float in the back of my head. There's something wrong with me. Feeling guilty about letting her face danger all by herself. There really has to be something wrong with me.
Shiki? Why are you making that troubled face again?
Because I'm troubled. This is something that involves the city I live in.
I said you shouldn't worry. In 2 or 3 days it'll all be over, and there won't be any more victims.
Yeah, honestly, I don't want to be involved. But saying that line, shouldn't I, the one actually living in this city, say that line instead of Arcueid? Arcueid, can I ask a question? This enemy you speak of, is he strong?
Well, he should be many times superior to the dead earlier. I haven't met him this time, but he has been latent for 8 years, so maybe he's a class 5 by now.
You're saying he's stronger than the dead before. Looking like she was in so much pain from fighting just him, isn't she taking him a little lightly? Class 5? I don't get it, but does that mean he's stronger than Nero?
Not a chance. Nero was special. He was a pure, supreme vampire that would be difficult to defeat even with my full power. Compared to him, this enemy is pretty weak.
Oh. Then there's no way you'll be defeated. I breathe out in relief.
Who knows? A few days earlier and he wouldn't be a problem, but now I'm just recovering. The possibility that he has more power is actually high.
Recovering? Are you sick or something, Arcueid?
Yeah, I still have the effects from when you killed me, and I don't think I'll be fine for at least a few more days.
Ah. That's right. The reason why Arcueid is weak, it isn't anyone's fault but mine. Arcueid lightly touches her side.
It seems the wounds don't heal like usual. I could manage the outside, but I can't seem to heal the inside.
That wound as well. The one she received to save me. I'm at a loss for words. It's completely my fault she's in that position, so why doesn't she hold it against me? Why does she just give that innocent smile? You need to stop. Until you heal up, you should just rest. If you take a day or 2 off, things won't be that bad, so...
That's no good. Thanks to Nero coming, the enemy knows I'm here. If I rest, that's like telling him I'm weakened.
So you're saying you're going to keep on going like this?
Yes. Since I don't know where the enemy's lair is, I have to keep destroying his blood supply. If I cut that off, it will force him to come out.
Arcueid, what if that's tomorrow? Wouldn't you be killed instead? Then... I want to tell her to stop, but I halt mid-sentence. Like Arcueid says, if the enemy sees that weakness, Arcueid might be killed. More than anything else I learned from the past 4 days, Arcueid isn't someone to stop halfway when she's decided to do something, no matter how much it hurts. Dang! Arcueid won't stop. If I leave her alone, she probably won't even be able to talk like this anymore. It makes me mad, but she's not even afraid of her own death.
Is that so?
Why does she smile like that? If she doesn't smile like that, if she acted more like a real vampire, I wouldn't have to feel like this.
What's wrong, Shiki? Your body is shaking. Do you need to go to the bathroom?
Why are you so relaxed? Dang it. I don't want to lose her. I don't know what this feeling is, but these past 4 days are not something I can just forget about. So to part here, with the possibility she may die tomorrow, the regret would be completely, utterly, unbearably difficult. Give me a break. My eyes are already broken, but my heart's going to break as well. Arcueid is a vampire, and I don't want to be involved in something like that again. I remember the fight with Nero. Just thinking about it sends chills down my spine. The fear of being one step away from death still remains. This is the same. Definitely, the opponent this time isn't normal. There's really no need for me to be involved. Since Arcueid is saying she'll handle it, I can rely on her. But even knowing all of that, I just can't leave her alone. Dang, what the heck is wrong with me? I kick the ground. I'm angry at myself for not accepting any reasoning or excuses.
But what? What's wrong, Shiki? Getting so angry like that all of a sudden?
Yeah, I'm just angry at my stupidity. Why I want to say this after all that which happened to me. I feel more mad now that I actually say it. Being this stupid, I know if I could see myself in a mirror, I'd break it to pieces.
Hey, really, what's wrong, Shiki? You're not acting normal.
Yeah, I'm not. If I was acting normal, I really wouldn't say this. I spit. I really don't want to admit it, but it's already a done deal, because my mouth has already confirmed it for me.
Oh, I just can't understand it, Shiki. What is it? You keep saying you're gonna say something, but what is it?
Stupid, isn't it obvious? Until your body heals, I'll help you. That's what the stupid fool Tono Shiki wants to say.
Huh?
Arcueid looks at me in total surprise. As for me, finally saying it kind of calms me down.
Shiki, is that for real?
I groan.
I didn't hear it. Please, can you say it again?
Ugh. I groan more. No matter how much I regret it, it's done. The instant I formed my feelings into words, I can't lie to myself any longer.
Hurry. I want to hear those words again.
Arcueid asks softly. Looking off into the distance, I try to sound reluctant. I guess it can't be helped. It's my fault you are weakened now, and I can't leave the monster roaming the streets alone either. I can't rely on you taking care of it by yourself, so if you let me, I want to help you. That's what I said.
Shiki!
Arcueid's eyes are suddenly alight. She grabs my hand and happily shakes it up and down. Well, I may not be that helpful, but it has to be better than nothing.
Yeah! If you're helping me, there's nothing to be afraid of.
She keeps shaking my hand up and down. How do I say this? She really does seem happy. But what do we do now? Do you want to search for more of the dead like before?
Yeah, I think that's all we can do for now. The one before was the 12th, so I don't think there's many more. The parent vampire will have to come out once they're all destroyed, so we have to hunt the remaining ones for now. Is that still okay?
She asks. Anything is fine. I'm just with you. If you lead, then I'll follow. Well, shall we start again?
No. That's good for tonight. They usually follow a fixed route, and the other dead will probably not be out tonight. Since they're fewer in number, I don't think he'll let them all come out at once.
Oh, really? But doesn't that mean this enemy will try to hide the dead from you, Arcueid?
Basically. But since this enemy is a vampire, he needs to steal the blood and energy of others. So even though he knows I'm searching for them, he has to send the dead out to get the minimal blood he needs.
Then the minimal dead he sent out was that man from before, huh?
So, searching further tonight will be useless, I think.
Well, I don't mind. But it is tedious, though.
Yeah, hunting vampires is tedious work. We have to find the coffin of this enemy somewhere in the city, so it won't be easy.
Arcueid lets go of my hand and jumps back softly. Arcueid?
Let's say goodbye for tonight. We'll meet tomorrow.
With her dance-like steps, she watches me as she gets further away. Tomorrow. Wait, where should we meet?
Here's fine. The time, yeah, around 10 o'clock should be fine.
With a smile, she makes that promise.
Good night, Shiki. I'll see you here tomorrow.
And, waving her hand, Arcueid disappears. I get back to the mansion.
And we're gonna go ahead and call it here for the night. So there is clearly another vampire threat to deal with, and chances are, considering that Nero was the warm-up act, chances are the situation we're in is maybe a little bit more complicated and dangerous than Arcueid first thinks. So, we'll see how the investigation to hunt this new vampire comes along nicely next time. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope this was entertaining, and thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a good one. Bye!